Welcome back on the streets, and this is what can happen when a conversation goes right. This guy's he's a good example of what can happen if you just apply yourself a little bit. Read a book and get beyond the programming. And it's what I like to do out here on the streets is maybe just crack that veneer. Go ahead and get people to think beyond the programming. And hopefully get them to look up something that I might say out there that will get them beyond where the powers that be want us to be. So this guy travels around, apparently he's a driver, long distance driver, and he listens to audio books, and all of a sudden, just because of that, he's starting to question things. And so he comes up and he asks me a series of questions, and I believe I might have, opened that door a little bit wider for him. Hopefully. That's all I can do. Now, I'm not reaching one person at a time out there, maybe a dozen at a time, who knows. But that's why I do the YouTubes, because now I can reach a couple hundred, now you guys, and now it's in your court. Now you can take it and expand this by putting on your networks, Facebook, social media networks or whatnot. And from there, it gets even better. So now we can maybe reach 1,000. And then maybe from there, who knows? And that's what this is all about. And that's why your help is essential in this. Again, for you, if you have commented that you've noticed that, you're not getting my notices. You can see where my subscribers are not climbing, although my views are not registering even after you viewed them. So we are swimming upstream. So we just got to try harder. And so that's why I'm asking you to please help expand this. This is all a numbers game. So each one of us has a voice that we can amplify. So, do that. Share these videos. And of course, help me out by, contributing. That's what I always ask. I hate to have to keep on going over and over and over this again, but it seems like it's necessary. Please contribute to my PayPal. Please go get one of my designs. That's another way of spreading the message. Imagery is a lot. It is a lot of the propaganda. So when you wear one of my images on a sweatshirt or T-shirt, it carries. It's going to create a conversation. People are going to question. They're going to look at it. It's going to make them think. Woo! So please do that. That's what this is. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do share it if you do. And remember to hit the bell button and the like button and all these things. Got to keep on doing this crap. YouTube has come up with, it looks like they've changed their format again, so I don't know how that's going to affect things. And the 3-strike policy has changed. So fortunately, I haven't had any strikes against me yet, odd as that is. But they can knock you off for any reason at any time. That's just how they swing. So if you like it, you like it. If you care, you share. And if you can contribute. Remember, it's a spiritual battle. We're fighting on a material plane. So please give me the materials I need to stay out there and fight this battle. So let's get to it. Let's get on the streets. And God bless all of you.
He's from UK, and I think he did do a hunger strike when he was in jail because, they had to, because they were trying to poison him. Now, he's the guy that was reporting on the influx of the immigrants that were coming into his city and then the country. and the government there tried to shut him up, and they started, drumming up charges on him.
Yeah.
And he was in front of a courthouse reporting on a Muslim, group rape ring, child rape ring. And the police come along. They said, Tommy, get in the back of that van. And within a matter of hours, they throw him in jail for 13 months. So there was all over the world there were riots.
I guess I don't know about him. I gotta.
You got to check him out.
Yeah.
He is.
The guy in Ireland, though, I was thinking of that. He kind of reminded me of that. They did a hunger strike for 56 days until he finally passed, and I cannot remember his name.
No, that's not him. That's not him. No, this guy is he's balls to the walls. He'd go into the Muslim neighborhoods, try to talk to him. Try to say, excuse me, what's going on here?
So
what are you guys
basically
doing?
a reporter.
Yeah. He does what I do on steroids. He goes right into the nest. And so they tried, but Trump even sent our ambassador to the government of UK and said, excuse me, this ain't right. So they let him out after about a month and a half, and they're still trying to put him back in jail and all. But this talk is that he might even run for parliament over there. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a goofy system over there. I don't know it. I mean, it's pretty awesome actually when they're trying to give their speech and the whole crowd's like drowning out. That's kind of cool. Who do you think killed Kennedy? You've been around for a minute.
Oh, that was the deep state. I mean, obviously it was the deep state.
All right.
Those are the same guys.
I mean, if you'd have said Oswald, I'd have had to call you.
Well, those are the same guys that did 9/11 and the same guys that have been pulling off false flags for a long time. It's the deep state. We haven't been running this country for a long time. Our government, what we look at, what they give us on the news is sort of like a storefront window to what's really going on. The real people that are running it are like the Bilderberg Group and the Club of Rome and the 300 Club, and it's the semi-secret societies that are really doing it.
Yeah, I would say it's as much the CIA in particular.
Well, those are the henchmen for it. There's a great documentary to watch. It's called Thrive, Thrive. You're familiar with Procter & Gamble, of course.
Yeah.
Foster Gamble, heir to that vast fortune, groomed to be a 0.0000001%er, has an epiphany, and he goes, look, I'm surrounded by psychopaths. I'm not doing this. So he breaks from the elitist agenda, and he becomes an activist for the people. And he makes this documentary called Thrive. And in there, he breaks down right off the bat. He starts out, he said, these are what they've been hiding from you for over 100 years. And he breaks down government secrets for over 100 years, things like free energy suppression. And then he breaks down who's really running things. He shows who the people are at the top. And underneath that, you got the corporations and the semi-secret societies and secret societies. And then you got the government, the military, and us.
Right.
At the bottom.
Okay.
And so he shows how that pyramid works and how they blackmail.
I don't think it's impossible for Joe Schmo, if they wanted to know, to find out. Because I've been driving for 3 years just around the country, and I'm an Expediter van. And all I do is listen to books on Audible. Book after book after book after book. And I have come to those conclusions on my own with nothing, no work, maybe a few $100s in Audible books.
Thank you.
So that the answer's out there.
Yes.
You just got to quit watching Fox or CNN or whatever the fucking local station is.
All you do is scratch underneath the surface.
Yes.
But they keep us entertained and distracted.
Right, with disinformation and distraction, absolutely.
And that's why most of the people are clueless to what's going on, because not a lot of people want to find out the truth, because it's ugly.
It's ugly.
And then you have to do something.
Right. Once you acknowledge it, you can't just stand there and do nothing. You're pretty good. I like talking to you. And that was funny. I don't carry a gun, but I was in the military, and I would if I needed to, but that's fucking funny. So you're obviously a big Trump fan.
Well,
I'm
I'm a fan when he does things right and when he does things wrong. Like he's done a couple of things lately. I'm worried he's going sideways on us. He never should have signed that spending bill. Never should have done that.
The one that let him.
Yeah, this last bill he signed. This last one he never should have signed it. That was a horrible bill.
I think it's going to be hard to enforce the emergency declaration for the border. I mean, I think it's.
Well, that's it. I mean, there were so many roadblocks and cleavage and there, plus it increases immigration, increases incentives for immigration, increases the child prostitution. It may actually makes that worse. So I'm like, what the hell was this? And then he just came out recently promoting 5G technology. He's going, we ought to have 6G.
Right, I heard it.
I said, what are you, nuts?
6?
I mean,
we got to get 5, right?
This shit will throw, I mean, it'll turn our brains into guacamole. So,
but he doesn't mind doing that. I mean, he actually likes that. He likes the insight. He likes to get reactions.
Yeah, but that's not reaction we need. I mean, look into it first and then don't promote this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have
to change his character completely to do that. To
look, man,
educatedly.
We're already getting poisoned by the iPhones. This stuff is already giving us cancer and killing us. I mean, you put in 5G, you won't even have to own an iPhone to get the damn radiation from that.
Just be in the room.
Just be outdoors, just be around. They're going to have every 45 feet, they're going to have a tower. You kidding me? They'll be microwaving us.
I think, though, and I'm not sure about this, but I think the government created cancer. I'm not solid on that one, but I do believe it was created in a lab. I need a couple more books. There's a monkey book out there I got to read, and a couple more books I got to read.
In the end, it's all down to this: depopulation. Because in the end, this is what it's all about. The only reason the elites have kept us around this long is they needed slave labor. With the advent of AI robotic technology, they do not need us anymore. Henry Kissinger called us the useless food eaters.
Henry Kissinger, huh?
Yeah, and that's it. We've become the useless food eaters. So the idea is to open up the floodgates, third world countries and the first world countries, create a lot of chaos, lower the common denominator. The government comes in as the savior. Oh, well, after all this chaos goes on, then they declare martial law. They come in, put us into the cities, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and then they have us under control. And then they can start killing us in earnest. So, cancer.
I could see that way of depopulation. I can see that happening. As a matter of fact,
And you're right, the cancer rates are increasing. They've got cures for cancer.
Yeah, some people live, right? I guess, and if you go to AIDS, Magic Johnson had AIDS in the 80s, 90s.
Look, they got cures for cancer.
So I believe there are cures.
They got cures for cancer. They got ways to prevent cancer.
But you got to have money for that cure.
No, you don't.
Or the connection of some way.
No, you don't. There was a guy there who arrested. Again, watch Thrive. There's a guy they arrested in Canada. This was about 2 years ago.
Is that on Netflix by chance?
Oh, sure. You can Netflix. You can watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
This guy in Canada didn't even smoke pot, but was growing cannabis. Was making an oil out of the cannabis. Was curing 4-stage cancer with it.
Wow.
He was giving it away.
And they arrested him.
They still busted him for cultivation, threw him in prison.
Right. Fucking, you're not helping people, mister. Get out of here. We'll have none of that. That's against our policy.
So here's a guy giving this stuff away, curing 1st-stage cancer, and they threw him in.
That's funny. Well,
with cannabis oil.
Sad.
You get that, you get this oil for probably, I don't know, maybe $200 a bottle. To cure cancer, that's nothing.
Compared to what's out there is $200,000 for 17 pills, right? Yeah, so that's pretty sick. And I didn't think of marijuana when you first said we have cures for cancer. I was thinking of radiation and all that other bullshit. Which I've never had it, obviously. I don't know, but I know that
There's
does a lot for
seaweed, there's
seizures and all kinds of
seaweed that
stuff.
can cure cancer. There's certain seaweed you can eat that'll cure cancer.
So where are you on religion?
Oh, I totally believe in it, man. Come on. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ, yes, amen.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I believe. Have you ever heard of The Shack?
No.
It's a book called The Shack. It basically is a guy who goes to his cabin because he's called by God to go to this cabin. He goes and he meets him after he had his tragedy in his life, and he decides that although he believed in God, when he had this tragedy and his daughter died, he was anti-God. Like, yeah, whatever, bullshit, you know. Then he goes to The Shack and rediscovers it, and it's less of a churchy God, more of a spiritual God. So
Yeah, well, I've gone through the
I don't buy it into the church, but I absolutely
Well,
believe in
indeed,
Jesus Christ.
there's a lot of the churches that are actually working against they are working for the Satan. I mean, they are. I mean, the Vatican is right now taken over by Satan. I mean, it just came out. There was an article recently that 4 out of 5 priests are homosexual. So,
Well, I mean, if they're
all right. How does that fit in with Christianity?
Right.
No, they're. I mean, I've run the gamut. I've gone everything from being an altar boy to being an atheist to being a deitist to being okay.
Yeah.
But I've had too many of my own personal experiences to deny
it, yeah.
To deny it, So,
that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
Because I was agnostic or whatever you want to call it. Yes.
I've gone the whole
And
gamut.
it's just too many things.
But
that are just,
I've had too many. And as I say, I don't push anybody. I'm like, yeah,
Plus,
I do.
I want to believe. I mean, I
Yes.
want to. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to look, man. If I took an acorn and threw it in the ground, and that tree popped up in a matter of minutes, you'd say it was a miracle. Well, that acorn
did go in the ground.
It did go ground. It did produce. It didn't do it like that. It's still a miracle. It still produced something that we couldn't do.
Right. If you did consider the vast.
So it's only a matter of It's only a matter of time that you consider it a miracle. No, it's still a miracle. That thing was created.
You bet.
I can't create it.
No. From a little acorn. That's right. Look at my face right there. You are.
And here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
I'm a fan of Bernie. I bet you probably don't like that much. But.
Nah, I think he's a phony. I mean, come on. The guy's got 3 homes. He's driving around in a $100,000 car.
Amazing. That was just published on Fox.
Yeah. So where socialism ever worked, that doesn't.
He's about the lowest. I think his net worth in 2016, when I looked at it, was about $300,000, which, considering all the senators, he's right on the bottom.
Yeah, but still, it's the last I heard it was worth more than that, but that's neither here nor there.
It would be hard to garner any respect.
It's pushing something that's never worked. It can never work.
Well, it's pushing something that we say has never worked. We've never tried it here.
No, it's been tried everywhere. As a matter of fact, there was this guy's like the granddaddy of socialism was on Ingram the other night, and she cornered him, because this guy's wrote books on socialism and everything else, and asked him, "Where's socialism? Name a country where socialism has ever worked." And she cornered him, and he finally said, "Well, it hasn't. Nowhere." She said, aha. So, and it doesn't, because it's only because of human nature.
And greed?
You cannot centralize anything and expect it to work. Because anytime you centralize it, you're taking it away from the individual to make the decision. And whenever you do that, the centralization always becomes corrupt. And you cannot, a centralized government can never, ever satisfy everybody's individual needs because we're all so different and unique.
Right.
The only thing that can work is the best we got to it. What we had was a republic, and we didn't even get to the best of that where it could be broken. Because I'm more of an anarchist than anything else. Where we get down to each individual and just make the law would be As long as you don't hurt anybody else or anybody else's property, and keep it out of centralization, because the bigger the government gets, the farther it's removed from the individual. And anytime that happens, the individual loses every time. I don't care how good the intentions are starting out. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely in every instance.
I mean, I can't argue that. I cannot argue with that. That's a good point. So, my biggest problem is greed and people with way more than they need, or I guess I'm determining what they need. But there's people with excess and like $10 billion Trump or whatever.
Yeah, but in that, what we do there is, instead of glorifying that, we shame them. I mean, it's like, we as an individual, I'm not right
now. We don't shame.
Well, that's why. That's because
we look at them as better than us.
Again, that's part of the program, is to go ahead and create envy, class envy, to create that division. It's part of the program.
Okay.
You get it?
It makes sense. Yeah. All right, it's another layer.
Thank you. It's another part of the educational system where we got to have that bling. You got to no, shame the people.
Yeah. Part of the distraction.
Hi there.
Hey. Part of the distraction.
If you'd like to leave anything in the Bulletproof Vest Fund, it's always appreciated. But the idea of it is to go ahead and shame it. Like, again, they don't call it programming for nothing. I mean, when they put it on, once they made that TV, buddy, that was it. That was it.
Now that I've discovered, I haven't discovered what I can do about it. But now that I've discovered my enlightenment, I guess, like we were saying earlier, if people discovered, they would have to do something. I just don't know what to do about it yet.
Well, that's where each one of us find out, like I did this.
Right.
And I says, all right, what's my talent? What am I good at? Well, I can draw, I got a sense of humor, I can talk to people. Let's put it all together. And then rather than just sit on a blog, says, let me get to the streets. This is where the revolution is. If you don't control the streets, you control nothing.
Yeah.
All wars are fought on the streets.
Yeah.
So I brought it to the streets to fight my war.
I like it. Appreciate your time.
Oh, it was a pleasure, brother.
Pleasure talking to you.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah, I guess you can see at the end it kind of threw that Bernie Sanders curveball, which hopefully I slammed out of the park and set him straight on that. He might have to start rethinking his support for the socialist, because that is in no way where we need to go. So hopefully I dropped that seed in there. Again, if you like it, you like it. If you care, you share. If you can, please do go get one of my designs and spread this message out there. All right. So God's love. See you on the streets.